Micron, let's start there. They raised their outlook for the current quarter. Maybe remind our listeners why Micron is in the portfolio and what role they play in the AI tech stack.
Number one, the news is Micron, they raised their outlook for the current quarter, $11.2 billion in revenue versus expectations of $10.75. It's going to translate to a big beat on the EPS side of $2.85 and profits versus estimates of $2.52. So, Austin, the key point here is that memory is very important for AI. And newer systems, whether it's custom chips from Broadcom or these NVIDIA Blackwell systems we've been talking about across this podcast, they require drastically, I should say, more memory. So the AI market for memory chips, which is a space called high bandwidth memory, it's expected to grow 96% this year, 55% this year, and SK Hynix, which is one of the memory companies, they're predicting a CAGR of 30% through the end of the decade. So this is a trend that is very persistent. Now, at the beginning of the year, we predicted that memory would be a key theme across the year. I think that is playing out on a high level as we're seeing with some of those projections. We had recommended SK Hynix. Unfortunately, it's a very difficult stock to buy because it's in Korea. We've had viewers reach out that they did buy it. You can purchase it in Germany, for example. It's up 30% since then. We had recommended Micron, far easier to purchase, a little more expensive than SK Hynix. That one's up about 20%. We saw it just had those great pre-announcement of earnings. And Camtek, which is a little bit more on the speculative side, what it has is advanced tools for detecting defects when you're creating AI memory in a space called metrology. That one's down about 16% since we recommended it. That's largely due to the relatively brutal space it's been operating in. But, the key point here, Austin, we talked about memory as a key theme at the beginning of the year. What Micron's earnings do is validate this concept that we have. And if anyone out there hasn't purchased any stocks in the space, we just went through and reviewed them. Camtek, again, it's in a very brutal industry in semiconductor equipment. We'll get back to that a little bit later, but could be one that you could still add to your portfolio. Just, kind of position it correctly. I think we've got a 2 or 3% position, so you'd want to keep it pretty low.